It's a beautiful day here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm at Michael Fesco's restaurant to learn the art of cooking pasta. It sounds like fun to me. Well, all food sounds like fun to me. So, let's check it out. Hi, I'm Remy, and I started cooking when I was 4. When I turned 10, I learned all I could from my home kitchen. So, I partnered with Oklahoma State's Culinary Arts program. Now, I travel to the best chefs around, learning the curriculum and techniques. Then, seek out the freshest, most healthy ingredients to create dishes to be judged by the chefs that inspired them. Just call me the Culinary Kid. Hi, Chef Fesco.
Hi, Remy, but call me Michael.
Okay, Michael. I'm here today because you're known as the pasta master. So, what's our menu today?
Well, we're gonna make penne pasta with champignons. That's the French word for mushrooms. Very traditional, very simple dish.
Okay, well, let's get started.
All right, I wanna point out to you just right off the bat on what needs to be done to cook the penne pasta itself. We're using an imported Italian pasta. It's called Pacheco, and this is penne. This is dried pasta. We're gonna cook it in boiling salted water. So I'm gonna grab my salt shaker and put a good amount of salt in it. You see the way the water starts to boil immediately?
Yeah.
What that does is it raises the temperature of the water so that the water boils at a higher temperature, thus stopping the ability of the pasta to absorb water. And that's what we're all about here. Now here's my Pacheco penne. You can see it's done through an extruder and it's cut on the bias at the end. That's very nice. And see how small it is? We don't want to let it get big like that at all. Okay? So we're going to take this in and we're going to dump it right in a pot. It's to a full boil into the water. All right, I use a gallon of water so that the boiling doesn't stop. And then I have a basket here so I can rise it right out of the pot and I can stir it around like that. The pot's heavy and I have a good hot flame underneath it. Now the big question, of course, is when is the pasta done? We want to cook it to what's called al dente. Al dente in Italian means to the bite. And the reason that is so important is that we want to make sure that when we use the pasta in our champignon dish, that it doesn't weep water, because water ends up being our enemy. Water will dilute the flavor of the dish itself. So when it's al dente or slightly raw in the center, what will happen is that it'll go into the dish and instead of weeping water, it will absorb some of the flavor of the dish and have it in the flavor of the pasta itself. So in reality, al dente isn't so much the texture of your pasta, it's to make sure that the pasta is not weeping into your dish. We're back to a boil, and here we are. It's already starting to cook. Now, we took a little time today, and we already cooked some off. This is pasta that hasn't been cooked al dente. This has been overcooked, and we overcooked it on purpose. If you were to put your hand in there, feel it, the pasta is wet. Do you feel how wet it is? So as soon as it'll get hot again, the water will pour out into the dish and dilute the flavor of the pasta, which is what we don't want to do. I'm going to show you here, we have to have in our dish what's called an aromatic. Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
Of course, Chef. Come on, Michael, it's an onion, right? And on this onion, there's two sides to the onion. There's a root end and a stem end. We want to leave the root intact to hold the onion together, but we will still trim it off, and we'll take off the stem end here. And I'm going to quickly show you how a professional chef like myself dices an onion. I'm going to split it right between the root, just like that. Now, these onions are important because we need an aromatic in our dish. Why? What's an aromatic? Well, that's what makes the dish smell so good. And people love vanilla in their baking, in their sweet dishes, and people love onions in their savory dishes. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, do you ever cry when you're cutting onions?
Well, I do a lot, but I find out it's really a lot less if I start with a knife that has a really sharp blade on it like that. And one of the ways I make sure the blade is sharp, I use a steel. And what this does is it really aligns the metal at the end so that it's sharp and slices evenly. My first thing will be a horizontal cut right in there, and then we take vertical cuts like this. Keep the blade right in front of our finger so we know where the blade is all the time so we don't have to worry about cutting ourselves. And then I'm going to use the rocking motion and do some fine dice. It's called brunoise.
Stick around and you'll learn how to shock pasta right after this.
All right, Remy, there are three things. you have to be a great chef. 1 is a sharp knife.
Check.
2 is a clean uniform.
Check.
And 3, you've got to have a French accent. Say oui.
We.
No, say O-U-I. Oui.
We.
Oh, we'll work on that later. It's getting closer.
That's great. That's actually that Indian.
Just walking through the door at Whole Foods Market, you get that great fresh smell. I love going through the lush produce section and checking the aisle for healthy, great tasting food. Their seafood rocks and is stocked to the gills with the freshest fish you could ask for, flown in 6 days a week. And if I don't have time to cook, they have that covered too with their quality prepared foods. Delicious. Whole Foods Market, where I go for the good stuff.
You see that? What do you think that's for?
I do not know.
That's to cook the pasta. If we were in a production service, we would cook that very al dente, and then we'd use our ice water bath here. You see that?
Yeah.
And we would what's called shock the pasta. When we shock that pasta, it stops it from cooking. We would remove it immediately and drain off the excess water. And the pasta would be very dry and very sticky, and that's a good thing, because then we would dip it quickly into one of these baskets, which we will, and then we pull the pasta out, drain the pasta, and then we put it right into our pan. Speaking of pans, I have one here in the oven, and what we do in a production line is we keep our ovens very hot and our pans hot, so that when we pull the pan out, we put it on the stove, and the pan gets hot immediately. It already is hot. That's a good idea, don't you think? A good blue flame will make that very hot. And then what we're going to do is saute the onion in this pan right here. Okay, I've got a little bit of olive oil in a bottle, and I start with just a little olive oil in the bottom of the pan. That olive oil works great. Do you like olive oil?
I use olive oil a lot.
Me too, I love olive oil. And what we're going to do with this olive oil is we're going to add a little onion to it, and we're going to get our aromatic working. And the reason we want to do that is we want to flavor the olive oil with the onion. And then the oil acts as our vehicle to carry that flavor or aroma around. Can you smell the onion?
It smells great.
Yeah, it smells great, thank you. After that, we're going to use simple mushrooms. Simple champignon mushrooms. They're your standard button style mushroom, but they have great flavor. Just as good as any wild mushroom or anything like that. Now we add that to it because the onions were translucent. And now what we do is we literally saute. Saute, small amount of fat, high controlled heat. Good. What do you think?
Well, it smells great in here. It smells great too.
Already, right? Right off the bat. We stir this around. We'll know when that pasta starts to be done because the water will turn from clear, it'll start to get cloudy, and that means the starch cells are starting to cook or absorb some moisture. But we want to keep that moisture to a limit. Beautiful. We just need to toss this around. We're going to season it and we're going to deglaze it with white wine. We want to get the onions to where not only they were sweated, but the mushrooms where they are sweated also.
Michael, this dish sounds really healthy right now. Is that like your objective?
Well, my objective runs hand in hand with being healthy. I want the flavors to stand through. I want simplicity. I don't want to have to resort to using a lot of butter or a lot of fat in order to get flavor in my dish. And that way it really falls into the flavor side. Now I'm going to take some white wine and simply deglaze. The glazing is all those flavors that are still on the inside of the pan now becomes dissolved into the mushrooms itself, into the dish. So you can see that, and then we'll reduce it down. I don't want a lot of wine here. All the alcohol burns off, but I want the slight tart flavor because I want the earthiness of the mushrooms, the tartness of the wine, and then the richness of the olive oil. I'll put a little bit of olive oil in it at the end. Now my pasta is about halfway there, should be done in a second.
You know, Michael, the kitchen is really hot right now.
Yeah, it is. We like it hot because when you put the food on the plates, you don't have to worry about it being cold. And it can go out hot. We cook it right away. It's called a la minute or to order. It goes out in the dining room. Here, though, this helps keep it cool. We got an ice water bath because we're going to shock that pasta to stop it from cooking. As soon as it is done al dente to the bite where it is. And remember, al dente is to the bite where it doesn't absorb a lot of water. And now we're going to drain as much of the water we can. We'll turn that off. Beautiful. Look at that. See the whiteness in the water? Okay, and then we're going to take it and we're just going to put it in ice quickly.
How are we shocking it?
We're shocking it. I'm going to grab a little rubber spat here, move it around in that ice cold water. As soon as that steam dissipates, we're going to drain it. You see the difference between this pasta here and this pasta? Look at the difference. That's overcooked. That's cooked correctly. Now drain it. Really important step because that water literally is my enemy. Okay. So we'll separate this. We'll put that right there. And now we want to see how much we want for a portion. I'm going to take the basket out of here. And I have a good sized hand. I'm really good at getting about 4 ounces in there. That's perfect. And now we're going to take it and dip it again back in our water. We'll put our mushrooms back on the fire, and that's a good hot fire. And that's all we have to do is dip it like that. And now we start finishing our sauce in our dish. Noodles right in there, and we're going to cook them for 2 or 3 minutes.
That's great.
And then we're going to give it another dash of white wine. And of course, in a dish like this, if you wanted to change it, you could add leeks or tomatoes or any of those things. But I really like to do a classic dish like this. I'm going to add a little salt to it. That's perfect. And if you can see, the oil is starting to, or the liquid is starting to be absorbed in the pasta. And then we're going to enrich it with just a little olive oil right at the end. And I want to do it to where you see the sheen. You see the way it's reflecting the light there? What do you think?
It looks great.
And then here we go. Bring my pan right over here. I have a good sized hand. I want about 4 ounces to the portion. Perfect. And now we're going to saute together. And we'll finish it off with a little salt and a touch more virgin olive oil. See, now here's what's happening. Here's what's so important. That pasta is in that hot pan and it's not weeping water. So I don't have to worry about the sauce being diluted.
Well, it smells great and looks great.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to add a little bit of my olive oil. That's just to enrichen it and a good way of doing it. And then just a little sea salt. Just light.
Don't you just love olive oil?
I love it. Oh, perfect. Very good. And now I've got a plate up here. Move this out of the way. And we'll set it and we'll plate it up.
Smells great.
Now you can't beat that smell, that earthy smell from mushrooms. We got simplicity. It's good and healthy. Low in fat, no added sugar, none of those things. Look at that, and then you can put a little bit of the pecorino cheese, the sheep's milk parmesan. Oh, that's excellent.
Looks great. And the cheese goes great with it. Melting on it. Looks great.
What do you think? How's it smell?
Awesome.
Good and hot. Look at that. I'll steam it. Good firm texture. A little tartness from the wine, earthiness of the mushrooms, richness of the cheese. What do you think?
It's great. I love it.
I love those words.
It's so simple too and it's low fat. So, well, Michael, thank you very much for having me here. It has been a great experience.
Oh, my pleasure. You're going to be a great cook and your food is already fantastic.
We had to Pose's Pasta and then to the test kitchen. Next on the Culinary Kid.
We at Metro Appliances and More had the opportunity to partner with a 10-year-old chef. After meeting with Remy, I knew that we wanted to help her communicate her message of teaching young children how to cook and eat healthy. It's been an amazing journey so far, and I couldn't be more pleased. I want to encourage you to watch the new series, The Culinary Kid with Remy. She's a lot of fun, and it's going to be great.
Chef Fusco really inspired me to make a great pasta dish. So what better way to make a great pasta dish to start out with great pasta. So here I am at Pose's Pasta with Lucius. So Lucius, can you tell me a little bit about how you make your pasta?
Absolutely. Well, we've been making pasta here in our families and traditions for over 100 years. So we've been doing it for a little while. And then we really like what we make because it's old flour and egg recipe, very simple, the way my great-grandfather made it when he came over from Italy almost 100 years ago.
So what types of pasta do you make?
Well, we concentrate on the long noodles, the spaghetti, the linguine, lasagna, and angel hair. They are really what most people will use. And it's what we've been making, like I said, for a long time. And in fact, they used to make it hanging it over broom handles when they made it in their homes before we had nice facilities like this.
So how much pasta can you make in a day?
We make about 300, 400 pounds in one day. And that's about with 3 people working. And so we've gotten pretty good at what we do. Come here, I'll show you some of the process that we do. All right. Now I'll show you how to do the first one here. We take it and we just feed it right in. And then it comes through all nice and pretty like. And then we catch it just like that. And this is how you get your spaghetti noodles. And then we'll hang them to dry. You want to cut one?
Sure.
All right. Go for it. Yep, just stick it right in. You did. Throw it over the back. And then you catch it as it comes out. Oh, I think you're great. If you ever get tired of cooking on your own, you come help us make some noodles. How's that sound? All right. Well, come here. I got some examples here of some boxes we've already finished. We got all different flavors of pasta we do. That's the traditional flavor we just did there. That's our plain pasta. We also have some that have a lot more color in them, like the spinach and the whole wheat. And here's even a tomato and basil. And here's the one I want you to smell. It's the garlic and parsley. Just take a whiff of that.
Smells awesome.
Yes. When we make that in the morning, I have to make sure and get breakfast for everybody because everybody's really hungry. So, well, what kind of pasta are you going to be cooking this week?
Well, I use angel hair.
You angel hair? Well, perfect. We have plenty of angel hair, and I'll be sure and send you home with plenty of that so you can get started. What kind of recipe are you going to do?
I'm doing angel hair pasta with pancetta sauce.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I'll have to be sure and tune in to make sure I can do it right.
Well, thank you.
You bet.
After my time with Chef Fusco and loaded with the best pasta I can ask for, I'm ready to dive into this week's lesson. The menu we have is great. We have angel hair pasta with pancetta sauce, which is my favorite, and we have French bread, and I'm going to tell you a secret on how to get that real crunchy, and we're making Caesar salad with homemade croutons. So first we're going to make our angel hair pasta with pancetta sauce. So first what you want to do is bring your water to a boil. Got that. Now I'm just going to add my salt. Put that salt in there. And I'm going to add my pasta.
Great pasta.
This Pose's pasta. Now I'm just going to stir it immediately. Oopsies. A little hot. Okay.
Put it right in the hot boiling water. That's good.
Angel hair pasta cooks really fast, so I'm going to keep my eye on this. And there are tons of different shapes, like elbow, ravioli, fettuccine. And did you know that noodles actually come from China and not Italy? So whenever you're making lasagna or spaghetti or any pasta dish, just thank the Chinese for that. Well, it looks like our pasta is about done. So I'm going to have an adult helper take this off the stove because I'm not allowed to take hot pasta with boiling water off the stove. And remember, kids, you should always ask your mom or dad to help you with this because you do not want to get burnt. And we'll just be right back.
All right, Remy, there are 3 things you have to be a great chef. 1 is a sharp knife.
Check.
2 is a clean uniform.
Check.
And 3, you've got to have a French accent. Say oui.
Oui.
No, say O-U-I. Oui.
Oui.
Oh, we'll work on that later. It's getting closer.
That's great. That's actually that ending.
Hi, what's your name? And how would you like me to sign your book?
This sign feature president, please.
I like your style, kid. Don't miss the Culinary Kid.
Remy, let me tell you about a few of the Thermador appliances here on your set. Right here we've got a 36-inch induction cooktop with 5 induction elements and also the largest induction element.
Cool. What's this?
Well, over here we've got our triple combination professional wall oven. You've got convection microwave, you've got a convection wall oven, and also you have a warming.
What's this?
Well, here is our 30-inch masterpiece double wall oven. You've got convection in both ovens, and you also have electronic controls.
Wow, Thermal really knows its stuff.
Well, we like to fulfill the needs of our clients.
Do you make trampolines? Because I could really use one of those.
I can get back to you on that.
My pasta is drained, and now it's time to make my pancetta sauce. So, first, what I'm gonna do
With olive
is
oil,
I'm
my
gonna get my
favorite
olive oil.
ingredient.
It's gonna
One
put
of my favorite
a few
ingredients.
tablespoons.
Plenty in the
this
bottom of the
into my
pot.
pan. A little bit.
That olive oil is good because I don't carry that flavor that she puts in
And
there.
then I'm going to turn this on medium high. And now I'm going to add my pancetta.
And smoked bacon, rolled bacon, pancetta,
Got
excellent.
pancetta in there.
Onions,
Onions.
ideal aromatic for it.
That goes in there. And my garlic.
It's big three of flavor.
So now I'm just gonna stir this around a little bit. And I use pancetta because it's less fat, and even if you use a little bit, it has big flavor. So I'm just gonna get this sauteing. And did you know that there's a restaurant in San Francisco that has garlic on every single thing on their menu? Even garlic ice cream. Well, that doesn't sound so good. So, I hear that sizzling. So now, while that's sauteing, I'm going to make my platter. So, what I have here is
Vibrant and
spinach,
fresh
which
spinach.
is a superfood.
Oh, that
And
green
do you know
color.
what a superfood is? Well, a superfood is something you should eat every day because it has all nutrients and vitamins that are good for you. So I'm just going to put this on the bottom of the bowl, a little messy. And now for the fun part. I'm going to put my handfuls of pasta onto my platter. Yeah, and I'm using handfuls because it just makes it easier to serve in smaller pies. I'm going to put all my pasta here. Yeah. Okay, now I'm just going to do this one big blob. Kind of
She's doing
put
good.
on the top a little bit
Look at
farther.
that good green background.
And then
Pasta stands
there's a
out.
platter. Okay, so now smells great in here. Looks like, oh, smells good. Want to get a whiff of that? Smells awesome. Okay, so looks like our pancetta is crisp. So now what I'm gonna do is kind of cool off the pan with a little bit of tomatoes. And tomatoes are also superfood. So I'm just kind of stir this around, so I can wash the pan. So now,
I love when those
I'm gonna
tomatoes
add
get
the
hot and
rest of
burst in your mouth.
a lot of color in here. And now I'm just going to add my chicken broth. Wow. Oh, steamy there. I'm just gonna
Everything,
stir
right?
it a little bit. And what I want is for this to simmer, so I'm going to turn it on low. And what I want is the tomatoes to kind of pop, like popcorn. And so I'm just gonna let those simmer for a while.
I can't wait to see that sauce.
Well, it looks like our
I can't wait to
tomatoes
eat that
have popped.
sauce.
So, just gonna let those sit there for a while. Now we're just gonna add some of our final ingredients. We have, oopsies, we got basil, fresh basil, to give it some flavor. Parsley. And now I'm gonna add some salt and pepper. Some pepper, just right here. Now I'm just gonna stir it a little bit.
So the green background, the red front, might as well be the Italian flag.
Gonna clear this out of here. I'm gonna bring my pasta over.
Family style. How more Italian can it be than
See,
that?
like a strand there.
Big platter
And
of
I'm
great
just gonna
food.
get my oven mitts.
Oh my God, look at the size of those claws. Like big lobster claws.
I'm just gonna move the pan over and the stove off. Oopsies.
And then I'm just kind of gonna spoon this on there.
Oh, what a sweetheart. Look at that. That already looks good.
On there.
Now if I could only smell it.
You know, the tomato just give it a lot of color.
Nice light stock,
And
good olive
the
oil.
herb just give it a
Wow.
lot of freshness.
And the tomatoes
And
are still
then
al
just
dente,
leave
just like the pasta, to the bite.
It's gonna get a little
Explode in your
broth
mouth.
here. And you're fine. Oopsie daisies. This can be messy, I can tell you too. And now for our final touch, we're just gonna add a little bit of cheese. Gonna plop this on top a little bit. Isn't this beautiful? I hope Chef Fusco really likes my pasta as much as I like his.
Time for the chef presentation. Now, this is a pass or fail, so wish me luck. I'm back again in Chef Michael Fusco. His accolades are many, and reputation definitely precedes him.
Chef Fusco, today I prepared an angel hair pasta with pancetta sauce and French bread, and the Caesar salad with homemade croutons. I hope you enjoy.
It looks great. I love the colors, and I definitely love Caesar salad, and I love it with a light dressing like this. So let me try this. The cheese flavor is great. I love the acid profile, just a little richness. Very nice, and the great thing about it is the lettuce has stayed crisp. Very, very good that way. Well, let me try this. Now the colors here are outstanding. Red, green, angel hair white, pancetta with a richness there. Very nice. Good color. It's always good when it's like the Italian flag, right? Let's see if I can get this here. Wow, that is really very good. With very little critique, that is very, very good. That pass is satisfactory. Great job, Remy.
Thank you very much.
That's it for this week's show. I can't wait for next week's lesson, right here on the Culinary Kid.
Kitchen supply was okay. In the kitchen supply food,
Yep.
Rolling.
Audio rolling.
I can get closer now because this shot's in there.
Just a little bit closer.
It smells good.
And rolling.
Rolling.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Excellent.
Professional style. This is like American Japanese thing. Okay, and did you know that pasta was actually invented in China and not Italy?